What is going on YouTube? Joe here with Culination Media, and welcome back for some more Pokemon Showdown. Today we're going to be doing some OU, and this is not going to be a full session. It's just going to be a mini session of kind of just laddering a little bit, not too much, maybe like 3 parts or something, maybe even just 2 parts. But they just released the suspect ladder for Giratina-O, which is being tested to drop back down into the OU metagame potentially. So I might even be getting Rex to vote on this, so I thought... why not do a little mini session? I figure you guys might like that. I don't do OU too often. It'll probably be kind of a laid back thing. I don't really know. But anyway, as we're getting started today, just a friendly reminder, if you haven't done so already and you would like to show your support, feel free to do so by clicking that like button right below this video, or you can leave your thoughts in the comment section below. All of those things are welcome and appreciated. Seriously, you guys have made the comment section on this channel a lot of fun recently, so shout out to everybody who's just been amazing lately, leaving some great feedback, great suggestions, all those things. You guys are awesome, seriously. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that if this goes up before the PU session, that is still going on. It's still going to be a full 5-part series. That's not going to be affected. This is just extra because I didn't know this was happening. So let's take a look at Giratina-O. It's got base 150 HP, dual base 100 defenses, dual base 120 attack stats, and 90 speed. So it's kind of stupid, but it doesn't get any recovery outside of rest, so there's that. As for this spread, we've got the Will-O-Wisp for burning things, we've got Dragon Tail for phasing, and Stab. Shadow Sneak is the nice priority there. Iron Head usually will 2-hit KO Clefable, which is awesome. I was running a little bit of speed on there, as I just clicked away, but I was running a little bit of speed on there just to be able to outspeed base 95 Pokemon, such as Gliscor, and potentially burn them before they get their Toxic Orb off if they get a little bit greedy. So that is fun. Now, moving on, we have Yumi the Starmie. I love this set. I seriously do. It's a support Starmie with max speed, timid nature, and then max HP. The 8 that are left over, I threw into a special attack to increase the power of Scald. We've got Rapid Spin because otherwise I wouldn't be able to get rid of things like Sticky Web or, you know, spikes or whatever. The Scald is standard, Recover, pretty standard, and then Reflect type, which allows Starmie to take on its checks because it makes you the same type as the Pokemon you're facing. So you can take on things like Mega Venusaur because they can't Leech Seed you, they can't really Giga Drain you, it does nothing. Sleep Powder doesn't affect you. You can take on things like Bisharp because eventually you're bound to get a burn. This Starmie set is just so fun to use, and I really like defensive Starmie, but I think this takes the cake for my favorite Starmie set of all time. So I really was looking for a chance to use it. I just haven't really done OU at all in a while. So yeah, that's what I'm going with. I mean, I think previously I used a physically defensive set. I think I used a specially defensive set on the channel. That may have been when Starmie was UU, but it went back up to OU. Anyway, I'm just kind of babbling on here. This team preview session is going to be like 8 minutes long. So I apologize to that, or about that. I apologize to you for that. I don't know what I'm saying. We have Sylvia, the Choice Specs Sylveon, because I don't know when the last time I used a Sylveon was, but it's got Hyper Voice, Psyshock, which hits things like Venusaur switching in, Hidden Power Fires for Ferrothorn and Scizor, and Baton Pass gives us some nice momentum if we predict a switch. There's a couple of different variants you can run on this, especially with the EV spread. I opted to go for a kind of a speedy Sylveon, so we can outspeed slow Venusaurs, I think. But other than that, I mean, you can run more HP. I might actually change that. I don't know. I also may change Hidden Power Fire to Hidden Power Ground if Heatran is a problem. We'll have to see, because I'm not too familiar with OU, and I'm not sure how this ladder is going to be, the suspect ladder, that is. Because it might be a little bit different with Giratina being everywhere. So then we have Nightwing, the Gliscor, kind of a silly set. It does have the Poison Heal and the Rocky Helmet, which don't go to, they don't go together too well. But yeah, it's just a fun set to use because it's got the Stealth Rock, it's got the Taunt, so it can prevent things from setting up hazards and healing and such. Got the Roost for recovery, EQ is Stab. I've got some speed on there to outspeed some faster Pokemon, or things that don't have too much speed, or slower max speed things. and I can hit him up with an EQ, or I can roost on him. I can do all kinds of things. The Rocky Helmet is useful because it allows me to wear down things like Choice Scarf Landorus, who like to just spam U-turn. Landorus can't really do much else to Gliscor anyway, and I can absorb Toxics for the team. If I switch in on a Toxic, I still get my Poison Heal, so then I have Poison Heal plus the lovely Rocky Helmet. I needed a Mega, and I needed something fast because this team is slow as anything. I mean, Starmie's fast, but it's kind of a support set, so I needed something that could hit kind of hard, and I had nothing for water types. So I opted to go for Mega Manectric. I may change this too. This is not like a set-in-stone session, like I said. I'm just going to kind of be just switching the team up as we go along. So, yeah, everything is subject to change, basically, except for Giratina. Anyway, it's a standard set. Nothing fancy about this. This is, yeah, just standard. Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Flamethrower, Hidden Power Ice with Lightning Rod, so we can switch in on electric type attacks. But my team isn't that weak to them anyway, so I don't know how well that synergizes. But it does synergize somewhat well with Gliscor because we are immune to ground type attacks. And Giratina is too. Then we have Bread, the Bisharp, with Assault Vest, Defiant to punish Defog users, and Giratina can often have Defog, so we can switch in and then hit it with some things. We got Sucker Punch, Iron Head, Pursuit to Pursuit Trap things like Gengar that are choice locked because they could have Focus Blast, so that could be a problem. And then Knockoff is standard. I feel like I've been saying the word standard a lot. I am running a little bit of HP, not a lot. I may need to change that too. I'm really just experimenting here, so yeah, and I threw this team together really fast, so this is probably going to get destroyed on the ladder, but who knows. We shall see. I like Assault Vest Bisharp. It allows you to be able to take hits from fairy types like Clefable and then just remove them. You can take a Moonblast even after it gets up a Calm Mind or two and just kill it, so that is helpful. It almost did drag on for 8 minutes, more like 7 minutes, but we're finally getting into a battle here. This is going to be a long video, I think. Oh well. Not that big of a deal. What do we see here? Prince Python. Okay, with a Slurpuff. A Slurpuff. Well, okay then. I see he's sporting the Giratina. I'm expecting to see that on almost every team. The Azelf lead looks to be somewhat obvious. But what do I do to counter that? That's the thing. I can't stop it from setting up rocks because even though I have taunts, that's not going to do anything because Azelf is faster. So, yeah, I'm going to start with Manectric here because it'll allow me to get my Mega off and I can come in and intimidate things later on, like the Gyarados and the Scolipede if it doesn't have a sub up. Because doesn't sub block Intimidate? I think it does. I don't know. I feel like I just never pay attention when that happens. But anyway, I'm just going to T-Bolt. He's going to go for rocks or taunt, I guess. No, he's not going to taunt a Manectric. That's not happening. There's no reason. There's no reason. Manectric never runs anything that's not an attacking move. Or should I say, rarely. It rarely does. But yeah, I'm expecting rocks here. Definitely. It doesn't do too much to my team. Like, my team really doesn't care about rocks at all. I don't have anything that's Focus Sash. I have nothing that's weak to it. But if I get the opportunity, I still would like to spin just so that I'm not taking damage. Because, yeah, things like Sylveon, it's still pretty slow, even with a lot of speed investment, because it's like base 60. So I don't, and I don't have HP either, so HP investment, so I don't want to be taking damage for no reason if I can help it. Now, unfortunately, this meta is probably more geared towards defogging, just because Giratina is going to be everywhere, which is a spin blocker. So, yeah, hazards are going to be all over the place because every team's going to have at least one spin blocker. He opts to go for the light screen, so he's light clay. He probably still has the rocks here, but I don't think I can kill him with 2 more Thunderbolts, so I am going to go for the Volt Switch. That does quite a bit less, actually. Thunderbolt did 32, Volt Switch did 23. Interesting. He did outspeed me on that first turn just because I wasn't Mega'd, so that's why I outsped him the turn after. As he goes for light screen again, that had to be a misclick. I think he wanted to click Reflect there. He misclicked. Okay, I was about to say that, yeah, definitely was a misclick. Now. Is he going to want to switch here? possibly, I kind of want to just click Pursuit if he wants to save this thing and come back in and set up screens again. So I will Pursuit. Because he can't do anything to me. He just stays in and goes for the Reflect, so he lives the... So he's going to get up rocks now. I should have went for knockoff. Because now he's going to have all those screens up and rocks. Darn it, I figured you'd try to save this instead of getting it up now when you wasted that turn of light screen. But that's fine. Yeah, I didn't want to click Sucker Punch because I knew he was going to go for rocks there. His other move was probably, like... Let's see. Would he have an attack? Maybe Explosion. I mean, the only other moves that it would typically carry would be, you know, Taunt, really. So, I don't know. The Azelf is down, which is nice. He did all that just to get screens up. And now it's going to be a game of stalling out the screens, unfortunately. And in the meantime, he's just going to set up this Scolipede all over the place. Knockoff should be able to break the sub, even with the Reflect up, because I'm a Bisharp. And that's what I do. I break subs and souls. Mostly souls, but subs too. Is he going to go right for the Swords Dance, maybe? Yeah, he knows he's safe, so he's going to go for the Swords Dance, and that does 33%, so that will definitely be able to break the sub. He has a Koba Berry to be able to take a hit from Talonflame, I guess. Because Koba is definitely the berry that decreases the power of super effective flying type moves. That has to be for Talonflame. It's the only thing I can think of. Because I don't know that you would take a hit from Staraptor. Staraptor is a lot more powerful than Talonflame is. Talonflame only has like base 81 physical attack or something. Something silly. He does go for the substitute here, as I am just going to go for the Iron Head, because I'm not afraid of you. I am not afraid of you. I'm afraid of what you're going to pass this into. Looking at your team, I have to say it's probably going to be Gyarados, which, that doesn't thrill me. Especially if it is Mega, because then Crunch is going to do a lot to my Giratina. And I'm not a fan of that. I could Pursuit here, I guess. Does Pursuit work with Baton Pass? I know it works with U-Turn and Volt Switch. I don't know if it works with Baton Pass. Huh. I think I should just click Knockoff then. I mean, all of this setting up, he's still, I don't think, going to be able to kill Gliscor. Will +2 Gyarados kill Gliscor? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it will if he has Ice Fang, so that's a possibility. Maybe I'm making a huge mistake by just letting this thing set up, because I could have went into Giratina to Dragon Tail him. As he just goes into his own Giratina. That's actually better than Gyarados for me, because I can handle this, especially after the screens go down. Not going to be able to kill it in one hit with anything, obviously. But I got off some nice damage there. The other thing I forgot to mention is that Giratina has to be carrying the Grisius Orb. It can't carry anything else, because that's what allows it to be its origin form. Now, Knockoff only has a base power of 65 against it every single time. You do not get the boost. So, Knockoff isn't exactly the greatest answer. Most of the time, you're better off going for Sucker Punch if you think it'll attack, but it can Willow you, so Bisharp doesn't exactly handle it too well. And Giratina also learns R-Sphere, so it's possible that they can start running it. I never really saw it in Ubers. In fact, I never really saw Giratina-O in Ubers at all. That's part of why they are suspecting it, as he is going to set up a sub here. But I would not be surprised to see them start to run Aura-Sphere for Bisharp, because Bisharp can be a problem even after, even with Will-O-Wisp and such. You know, Bisharp commonly runs Lumberry. If it goes for Defog, you get the Defiant boost. So he goes for Shadow Force. As I tried to taunt him, I did not want him trying to Willow anything, or any kind of setup. Does Giratina even get Calm Mind? I think that's all it gets, if it even gets that. So I don't know. He's gonna go for Shadow Force. That actually kills. Wow, +2 Giratina is scary. Too scary. I mean, it's a 120 base power move, to be fair. And I'm not max physical defense. I'm close, but not. So he didn't have to take damage, and this is not good. This is not good. I mean, I do have Sylveon, which just kills it through the sub, thanks to Hyper Voice. But I may have to just sack something here. This is such a problem, just because I let him set up all those things. This is not the way I wanted to start things off. We still have a chance to win this, though, just because Sylveon poops on his team. Like, it kills everything, basically, that's not named Scolipede. And Scalopede's actually taking some damage, so we may be able to kill that too. Hyper Voice coming off Spec Sylveon is ridiculously powerful. It is so powerful, it's nonsensical how powerful it is. He is going to attack me here, I would assume. So I feel kind of okay just going for Sucker Punch. But it's also, I don't know if it works if he goes for Shadow Force. I'm just going to go for it. He might just have Aura Sphere. Oh wait, no, he's physical. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? Does anybody know? He goes for EQ and kills me. So he had to sack over Bisharp, which stinks. But looking at his team, Bisharp does not do too much. It really doesn't. Other than Slurpuff. You know, Gyarados and Thundurus both resist the Iron Head, and Thundurus outspeeds anyway. I mean, Sucker Punch could have been useful, I guess. And the Intimidate on Gyarados, I guess, we could have used that to get a Defiant boost. But he looked kind of sort of expendable. I want to keep Manectric around because we can kill Gyarados in one hit if it doesn't get any boost up, as Shadow Sneak just takes it out. So we're not in a terrible position. We had to sack 2 Pokemon. One of them is a defensive Mon, which is a little bit stinky, I guess. A little bit stinky because Slurpuff could still be a problem without Gliscor. But we'll manage. We will figure it out. If he wants to go into Slurpuff right now, that's perfectly fine by me. That is precisely why I'm carrying Iron Head, because people think that, or I'm assuming, I don't know yet, but I'm assuming people are just going to think, oh, we can just switch fairy types into Giratina. No, you can't, because Iron Head is a thing. Okay, it's not a thing, but it's a thing on my set. Because all of my sets are bad and they carry stupid coverage moves. So what? So what? If that means your Clefable and Slurpuff die, I'm happy. So he does go into the Slurpuff, and he's going to try to Belly Drum on me. And that's not going to work, because I'm going to Iron Head you. So, yeah, he's probably not max speed either, because Belly Drum rarely is, because you get the Unburden boost. So he does go for the Belly Drum. That's going to activate his Citrus Berry, and that does a butt ton of damage, and now we Shadow Sneak, and you're dead. So that was a complete waste of a Slurpuff. So that's a huge threat eliminated, because he had a chance to sweep my team. The only priority user that I had was Giratina, now that Bisharp was dead, and Sucker Punch doesn't do anything to Slurpuff anyway. So if he was able to get a Belly Drum up on something else, he could have swept me, but he decided that he was going to bring it out on Giratina, which, to be fair, was not a terrible play. It really wasn't. Maybe he was counting on me not having a Willow, but there's that. As my computer screen just went black there for a second, I don't know why it did that. I don't know if that showed up in the recording. Anyway, he goes into Gyarados, and I don't know what this is going to do to me. Like, I'm just going to Willow you. I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know. Like, Dragon Dance, maybe? Dragon Dance Lum could be scary. Dragon Dance Mega Gyarados could be scary. Although, I will just burn you, so that's the thing. We just need to hope that Will-O-Wisp hits. Do not be a blind Giratina. There is no room on this channel for more blind Pokemon. There isn't. There's no room. Get out of here. Gyarados is going for a Dragon Dance and Mega Evolving, and he's burned because Giratina has eyes and he uses them. He knows how to use those eyes, Mang. What am I going to do now? I could just go into Manectric. I don't need this for anything. I mean, it hits Thundurus, so that's nice, I guess. But I mean, I also get Intimidate off on the Scolipede, so I guess that's useful. It's looking like Starmie actually might be the most useless. So what is Starmie going to do? I mean, I'm just going to go into Manectric. He's not going to go for EQ. He's not going to go for EQ, so we can get an Intimidate off on this. Yeah, he's probably just going to go for... oh, he goes for the Crunch. That doesn't do too much. He gets the Defense Drop, but I'm fine with that. I should still outspeed, I think. Actually, because you're a Gyarados, and Dragon Dance Gyarados usually runs Adamant. I might outspeed you. Depending on how much speed you're running. If you're like a bulky variant, I definitely outspeed you, and Thunderbolt would probably just kill you. I could be cheeky and go back into Giratina, but I'm just stalling for burn damage at that point. My best play was probably just to go into Starmie there, and that would have died to a Crunch though. So I'm just going to go for the T-Bolt. I do outspeed, gets a crit, and he's dead. I don't know if that mattered. I really don't. It was going to do a lot of damage. He's probably going to die to the burn anyway. After that, if he managed to survive that. So, yeah. So we're in a somewhat of a good position here. I would expect... I don't know. If Scolipede has Protect, it could come out here. Maybe, but he had Swords Dance and such, so he might not have EQ. He is going to go into the Scolipede. Do you have Protect? Am I really afraid of you? I mean, I kind of want to save this now. Because I do outspeed the Thundurus, and he can't T-Wave me. So that could be useful. I think we have this match in the bag here. We just need to not choke. Do not choke! That is the main goal for right now. I'm really good at that. I have like a superpower of choking. I don't play well when I'm ahead. Like most of my matches, I come from behind. That's just what it is. I start off badly, and it's usually because I'm really bad at figuring out how to play the match. Like by judging my opponent at the very beginning. Like I either expect, oh, you're not gonna make plays, and then I get predicted over and over and over again, and then I'm in a really bad spot. Or I'm like, oh, you're a good player, you're gonna make a good play here, and you're gonna predict me to do this, so I'll do this. And they just go for the safe play every time, and I put myself in a bad position at the same time. That's how the beginning of my matches always go. There's like a feeling out type of period for me. That's probably, I would have to say, my biggest weakness as a competitive battler, honestly. Is the slow start. I'm basically a Regigigas. Basically. So, do you have Poison Jab? I don't think you do. I'm just gonna Hyper Voice, and you're dead. I don't care if you resist this. I don't care. Like, this does over 50% to a Metagross switching in. So, yeah, you're not taking this. You're a Scolipede. You are a Scolipede. And he does go for the Protect, just to see what I, like, lock myself into, I suppose. Suppose that's a decent play. Get some more speed action. I mean, even if I was Scarfed, you were outspeeding me. But, okay. I mean, unless you're not max speed. Which, I guess that could be a thing. Who knows? Who knows? What are you going to do? If you switch in Thundurus, it just dies, I think. Or it's going to do like 90%. So your only play here is to sack this thing. Oh, he's going to Baton Pass. This is dead. I'm pretty sure this is dead. That was not the right play. That was not the right play. I mean, and he doesn't see lefty, so he has to know I'm offensive. But it's also possible this Scolipede just has nothing, and he has to try it. Last-ditch effort to win, and that just does 100%. It's just dead. It was there, and now it's not. And he forfeits because I don't think he could do anything with Scolipede. Fair enough, my friend. Fair enough. So we're off the very, very bottom of the ladder, I guess. Yeah, we're up to 1045. A whopping 1045. I mean, to be fair, the top of the ladder is like 1200 right now because it just started. Actually, I don't even know if it's 1200. Who knows? Who knows? So we're going to give this guy a good luck, have fun as we're getting into another one. Yeah, this is going to be a long video. I don't care. I don't even care. Analysis of the team here. We see the Kyurem black with no Giratina, honestly. Not honestly. That's not what I meant to say. What surprisingly was the word I was looking for, not honestly. Like I could lie about what's right in front of you. Good one, Joe. So he's got the Magnezone, which could be useful for trapping steel types that I don't have. And the Mandibuzz is probably going to be physically defensive. Keldeo could be Life Orb or Choice. Not really sure, but it is a threat. Base 108 speed is threatening. It just dies to a Hyper Voice, and I have a pretty good check in it, or to it, in Starmie. So this thing is honestly the biggest threat on his team. Because, especially if it's Scarfed, it could be a huge problem. He is just going to straight switch out to Keldeo, predicting an Iron Head, and that was a good play. He did have to take 25%, but it's not the end of the world. Now, I actually have a pretty decent switch into Giratina as well, although they can carry Icy Wind. So, I mean, I've got some special defense investment, so that is pretty cool. And I didn't even explain it at the beginning, but I didn't really invest too much in... and by too much, I don't think I invested at all in my HP on Giratina just because it has so much HP to begin with. Base 150, felt like it was more necessary to invest in other things. Late team analysis, EV spread shenanigans. He goes into Clefable, which normally would be bad for me, but I have Iron Head. And He goes for Stealth Rock. Was that worth it? I don't think it was. To be fair, though, that was a good play because most Giratinas will have nothing for Clefable. So normally, he would be able to just set up Stealth Rocks for free there. So that was not a bad play at all. And I kind of want to click Willow here, predicting a switch into... What is he going to switch into? No, I have to click Iron Head. Oh, he goes into Mandibuzz, so actually getting that Willow off would have been very helpful, but I did not want him to try to get a safe switch into something like Charizard, because he would outspeed me, and if he goes for Outrage, and he's Zard X, which it looks like he is, that would really just poop on my entire team, basically. Really don't have too much of a switch in to Charizard X, unfortunately, because the combination of its stabs just murders my team. So he goes into the Magnezone, and we get the Will-O-Wisp off, which is nice because that means that the sturdy on this thing is broken. If he has it, it's more likely that he's Magnet Pull, but I would just rather have it be broken and know for sure, so you don't have to play around with that. He's probably going to go for Flash Cannon here, honestly, because I still have Manectric that's not evolved. So, I mean, and I have two things that's immune to electric type attacks, but I'm going to switch it in anyway just in case he wants to, but no, he just goes for the Flash Cannon. That does a lot of damage. It does like 40%. I wonder if that is Specs. I wonder. I kind of want to click T-Bolt here, because I don't think he's staying in. He has to know a Flamethrower / Overheat is coming. And he switches in Clefable, that's going to get 2-hit KO'd. Most likely. Yeah, that does 40%. It's probably physically defensive Clefable, I would think. He has no immunities to electric type attacks, so I can just spam T-Bolt and Volt Switch all that I like. So I will get Manectric out of here and preserve the Intimidate for later on if we need it against Charizard or Kyurem. So that is cool. And getting off a T-Bolt against Mandibuzz or Keldeo, if it's not Scarfed, could be very useful as well. So, let's see. What do I want to go into? I will go into Starmie, and that will bait out his Magnezone. That's what he's going to switch into right here. And if he goes into Kyurem, then it is Scarfed. Like, without a doubt, it's Scarfed. But yeah, he really only has one switch here, and it's going to be the Magnezone. And he's probably just going to go for Flash Cannon again, because he doesn't want me getting a safe switch into anything. And I think that my best play is to predict that and just go for a Reflect type, so that he can't hit me with anything other than HP Fire. So I do go for the Reflect type as he goes for the Volt Switch, so I'm not trapped, which is nice. And I have a pretty good defensive typing here. I just have to hope that he doesn't go into something with Earthquake. So that's great because it just is. I didn't really take any damage from that. After lefties, it's like 19% or even less than that. As he goes into the Charizard here, which now has a type advantage against us, and I'm kind of tempted to just let it kill me to go for the Rapid Spin here. And he's actually just going to set up the Dragon Dance. He is Charizard X, which is fine. My best play is probably... Do I want to predict a Dragon move and go into Sylveon? I don't know that I do. Do I need Manectric for anything? Maybe. Like, if that Keldeo is not Scarf, I kind of need that. So, I think that Gliscor is my best switch here. I don't need it for anything else because Kyurem beats it with Ice Beam anyway. He is going to go for another Dragon Dance. I don't know if you can kill me in one hit. Honestly, I really don't know if you can. So, I'm going to click EQ. That is super effective, and it will dish out a lot of damage to you. Plus, you're going to have to take Rocky Helmet for whatever attack you go for here, because your only, non-contact move is the Earthquake, and that's not going to affect me at all. He goes for the Dragon Claw. Actually, Outrage probably would have killed, but he doesn't have it. Or if he does, he just didn't go for it. And so he takes Rocky Helmet damage, and EQ did a lot of damage, 63%. So this is max speed, max attack, definitely. I don't think it has any HP investment if uninvested Gliscor's Earthquake is doing that much. So he's probably just adamant max attack, max speed. Most likely. He's going to go for the Dragon Claw here, take more damage, and now we can just kill this thing revenge it with a Shadow Sneak. And there's not really anything that he can do about it. So his sweeper is gone, and it only took us sacking Glizzcore to do it, which is fine by me, because like I said, Glizzcore doesn't do too much to the rest of his team. Flash Cannon from Magnezone probably just OHKOs. Honestly, if it's Specs, it just dies. Glizzcore's not taking that. I would have to get it in on an electric type attack, and then for some strange reason have him just stay in, which he would not do. He would not do, because he's making some plays. He's not a bad player. So he goes into the Kyurem. And this is base... Is this base 95 speed or base 9? I think it's 95. Pretty sure he outspeeds me, even if I was max speed. So... I want to predict a dragon move. I really do. And go into Sylveon. But... I'm gonna do it. Go for the Outrage. Go for the Outrage. Just do it. I don't think he will, though. Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, he goes for the Ice Beam. That's not going to do too much to me. Okay, I'm fine with that. That is perfectly fine with me. I will just go for Hyper Voice here. If he wants to switch in Magnezone, that's fine. It's going to take a butt ton of damage. And I am Speedy Sylveon. So if he's running any HP investment, I can 2-hit KO this. And that does a lot of damage. Wow. Wow, that does a lot of damage. Now I have a choice. Do I switch something in to take a hit, or do I take a chance with Sylveon here and hope that this thing is not max speed? That is the choice, because he's going to die to burn damage regardless this turn, you know, unless he just goes for Volt Switch, which I don't really like that so much. But anyway, I'm just going to go into Manectric. I don't care. He does go for the Volt Switch. And that's fine. So he is going to preserve this thing. He's going to go back into Kyurem, I guess. That's really his only switch here. Or Keldeo if it's Scarfed. You're not going to bring Mandibuzz in. You're not going to bring the Mandibuzz in. Yeah, he goes into the Kyurem. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. That was your only play. I don't have anything to hit you with super effectively. Flamethrower is neutral. Hidden Power Ice is neutral. I kind of want to go for a Flamethrower for damage. Although we could Volt Switch out. I could Hard Switch too, but I really want to see if this thing is Scarfed or not. The problem is that I just lose a check to Keldeo and Mandibuzz. I'm going to go for the Volt Switch though. I really need to see what this thing is running. He does outspeed me, so he's Scarfed. I should have known that though, because he didn't show Life Orb and he had Ice Beams. It's not like he's banded. That was a bad play. That was a bad play on my part. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I have no excuses for that. So at least now we know for sure, I guess, that he's Scarf. Even though I should have known quite a while ago. I just was not on the planet mentally, apparently. I don't know that Fusion Bolt will kill me if you're Scarfed with Sylveon. So I could just go in and just kill something. He has no switches into Sylveon. He has none. Magnezone dies. So, yeah, Keldeo dies. Mandibuzz probably gets OHKO'd. Probably. And I only say probably because Mandibuzz is a fat sack of potatoes. Like, it is fatter than fat. I could go into Bisharp, too. I could even Pursuit Trap this to get some damage on it. I don't think he's going to just continue to go for Fusion Bolt. This is a hard decision for me. I had some trouble with this. He's probably just going to go and sack Magnezone at this point. But in the off chance he wants to go into Mandibuzz, I kind of want to go for knockoff just to get rid of lefties, because that could prove to be very helpful. No, he stays in, actually, so we're going to remove the Scarf. And I don't know if that really helps us, honestly, because now he's not locked into a move. And maybe that's what he wanted, because he outspeeds Giratina, he outspeeds Sylveon. He does not outspeed Starmie. So my only chance might be to get a burn on it. Do I click Sucker Punch? Are you really going to stay in? Again? I mean, I could have just Iron Headed you and you'd be dead. So I don't know how good of a play that was, unless he's really just predicting me to predict stuff. I'm going to go for Iron Head. And now he switches into Mandibuzz, which takes only 29%. Less than that when you factor in the lefties. This is definitely physically defensive, that's for sure. Now what? I kind of want to knock off its lefties. but that's not necessarily necessary, because it's just not. Sylveon still kills it. Sylveon one-shots everything on his team at this point. Mandibuzz has some prior damage, so I wouldn't really be worried about that going down. Kyurem obviously would die, and it has prior damage too. Magnezone has no health left, and Keldeo is not bulky, and he pulls a double into his Kyurem, which is a great play. Great play, predicting a switch, and at this point, I don't know if I have any option. I don't have a switch in. I have no switch-ins to this. I can't afford to take any damage on Sylveon. I don't think he's going to go for a Dragon-type move. I think he knows that's too risky. I have to go for Scald and get some damage on this thing. Reflect-type's not going to do anything for me. Because he's probably just going to go for... I mean, he could go for Fusion Bolt. So I could resist that, but then he can go for a Dragon move. So I'm going to go for a Scald, get some damage off in this thing. Oh, and I get the lucky burn as he's going to not kill me with a Fusion Bolt. And yeah, he's upset about that. I mean, rightfully so. I probably could have just killed you with a combination of Sucker Punch and Shadow Sneak at that point. So I don't know if that really mattered too much. Especially because, yeah, I don't think it did. It just means that Starmie is going to be able to stall this thing out. So we'll see if that really affects the outcome of the match. It might. I don't know. I do not know. But he definitely would have killed... I don't know. Never mind. Forget what I just said. I'm just thinking of things in my head. I think I questioned why Fusion Bolt did so little, but he was burned. So yeah, just forget everything I said. I don't know if that occurred in my head or if that was something that I said in the commentary. I'm at that point where I really don't even know what I'm talking about. I have no idea. And he's going to forfeit here. So yeah, Sylveon would have just beat the rest of his team, and keeping Starmie alive was helpful for, I guess, Keldeo, so that's a bit unfortunate. Anyway, that's going to be it for this time. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back for some more a little bit later on. But until then, game on.